Okay, welcome everyone. Today we are here to talk about techniques for effective coaching, alright, and thank you for joining the session. But before we even go into, today's session and learn a few things, right, I'd like to do a little bit of housekeeping. So if you need to access the Wi-Fi, you have got the username and password. Okay, it's also at the back on the flipboard. The access code to the doors, in case you're going to the toilets or to the pantry, that's the access code. Restrooms are outside, the main entrance to the left through the emergency door. Then you also have coffee, tea at the pantry, help yourselves. If you need to go and excuse yourself, please do. You do not need to stop the session, just walk. And we have a clean as you go concept. So by the end of the session, whatever cutleries, crockeries and everything that you bring in here, by the end of the session, we'll pick it up and put it back where we took it from. Okay? Otherwise, we're ready. I'm your trainer for today, Nanthini. Okay, and I have been in the HR world for at least 20 years. Prior to that, I started in finance. And then out of sheer passion for people, I moved into HR, and today I think my biggest passion is knowledge transfer. So I'm certified by Development Dimensions International, this organization that thrives on leadership training, and this is why I am conducting sessions for leaders in business. So you might say, oh, leaders, but leaders are different levels, right? You have leaders at C-suite level, you have leaders at supervisory level, leaders at managerial level. So all of you may be in some way or other in one of those positions where you're called people managers. So I'm going to take a few minutes because all of you, some of you may know each other, some of you don't. So I think it's good to introduce yourselves to one another, and maybe we can start with Pranav.
Okay. Hi, I'm Trevor.
According to that, right? So your name, what you do, how long have you been in the workforce as a people manager? If none, don't worry. Just say how long you've been.
Alright.
Where do we find you if not at work? Our biggest vice, right? That we want to know. So we're here to, we are sitting among strangers, but we are talking about interaction. So the first thing we want to do is really get to know each other as well. And then, do you actually face interaction challenges at work? And if yes, very quickly in a short sum, let me know what that is. What's your biggest challenge at the moment, right? Start.
My name is Pranav. I'm currently a security operations engineer at Allianz. I've been in the workforce for about, I think, 3 years now. As a people manager, I'm a consulting project manager for about 2 years at a marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
But then I decided to continue my career in cybersecurity.
Okay.
Where we find one of those probably in honestly.
Okay.
It's a very fun hobby.
Right.
Yeah, and a hobby that I'm passionate my taking an aspects.
Okay, and any interaction challenges that you've been facing?
Maybe more so trying to get a bit more direct communication with my superiors, etc. Like if there are
so upwards.
so there are some KPIs that aren't met, etc. I prefer they just directly told me why XYZ is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But this has been a very recent challenge, I suppose.
Okay. And have you managed people?
For about 2 years, I handled a few projects on an ad hoc basis for a marketing company, mostly because they offered web development as well.
All right. And what was the challenge there?
I feel like it was mostly just my inexperience with managing people, so I also had to, I just expected we would all collaborate, etc. But as a manager, of course, I would have a lot more responsibility compared to the other people. Like I would actually have to oversee the project, make sure certain KPIs are met.
Right.
So it was mostly just the overall challenge of trying to juggle those resources.
Sure. Thank you, Pranav.
No worries.
Let's move on.
Hi,
Anurag,
my name is
right?
Anurag Karan, and I run a marketing and production agency. I've been in the workforce. I've only been running my business so far, so it's been about almost 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
If you do not find me at work, Oof, that's tough. I used to be a powerlifter, not so much anymore. So nowadays, if you don't find me at work, you'd probably find me at home, not in bed, but hiding from people.
Hiding from people,
Hiding from
okay.
people, yeah.
Alright. And what about people challenges in interactions?
Well, there are a few. So mine per se is not really with my boss. It's more with my employees in terms of a couple of things. I think sometimes the keeping them motivated and keeping them disciplined for a certain project. I think that's a big challenge. And I think something that, I mean, it's not really written over here, but sometimes you do face conversations that are challenging with your clients. Some clients, you know, it's scope creep. Some clients, sometimes it's just a misalignment of what you think the main objective is, and that can be a difficult conversation trying to get them back in alignment. Sometimes it's completely your fault. Sometimes it's a misunderstanding of the client. So it's one of those conversations that you have to be able to deal with well, I think.
Right. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm Sasi and I'm a doctor and a lecturer. So how long have I been in the workforce? Okay, so quite a number of years, probably 35 to 40 years. As a people manager, again for a number of years because at various points, maybe in total about 20 years. Where do you find me if I'm not at work? Probably curled up in the house watching Midsummer Murders, or with my hobby is book. I mean I like reading. That's been my safety line all the time. Currently, when I face any challenges and conversations, so my team would also be my patients. So yesterday I actually had a little bit of a difficult conversation with the patient in the sense there were a lot of social dynamics in the house. So the patient and his son. So that could be an issue.
Okay.
My other team, I think, would be very important to me would be my students.
Okay.
So sometimes, you know, you want to sort of try to understand and get into their head so that you can actually help them go along the path that they want to do.
Okay, that's good. It's very interesting what I'm hearing today because you know, you will see how this is going to transform by the end of the day, right, into really making sense. What we're going to learn today is going to support a lot of what you're facing. Okay, whether it's upward, downward, or even sometimes, you know, you can be an individual contributor and you might be just collaborating. But this is just an art of interacting, right? Laura?
Hi everyone, my name is Laura and I'm a finance executive currently. Okay. I have been in the workforce for 6 years for now. I used to be an assistant manager in KPMG, so I do manage juniors when I was there. So where do I find myself when I'm not at work? At home, in bed, sleeping.
Oh, a lot of sleepers here today.
Yeah, so what the current challenge I face with the team of the or with the boss is mainly with the boss because my mom is my boss now. So there's a segregation of role, whether she's my mother now or she's my boss now. Yeah.
Okay.
The challenge will most likely be how do I get the issue conveyed to her directly in the way that she understands first round instead of elaborating it further and further.
Okay.
May I just ask, your mom is the CEO of the company?
Yeah.
So I
Sure. Yoman.
Okay, hi everyone, my name is Yoman. I am a business analyst in Allianz. So, how long I've been in the workforce is basically now 4 years. I did 2 years in Kelly UCG and then in Allianz, and I'm an executive. So I don't have any experience managing people, but all my difficult conversations have been with people above me or on the same level.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would that challenge be?
I think I've worked with now 4 different bosses, and each of them have been very different. So I think conveying the same kind of conversation with the same issues to each of them have been very different, and there were a lot of different ways to do it. Yeah, so with a stricter boss that is more clear cut, it's a bit easier, and also I think if they have certain ways that they want, like the structure of how they want to do things, you can't really do things in a different manner. So I think sometimes you want to convey to them that there is an easier way to do it. It's a lot harder to get it across.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sometimes you've just got to agree to disagree.
Yes.
Okay, so So you will learn. People are the most difficult to manage, right? And conversations, sometimes there are a lot of things that people, they think they know, but they forget certain very, very crucial steps in their interaction, and because of that, some interactions turn sour or not as expected. Okay, Purti?
Yeah, my name is Bhuwati, and I worked with Berjaya Roasters and previously with McDonald's and was a senior manager level, taking care of HR, risk and asset, and also learning and development. I've left the company now, so I've set up my own training and development, my own office I have. And my hobby, I actually love cooking and baking, but I also love learning how to do flower arrangement and reading. So not one particular, but a few hobbies. So challenges at the moment, because I'm on my own, so not managing any of the bosses. So I had some freelance trainers who are working with me, but so far they are okay. So there's no boss to manage, so I'm the boss.
Okay. And with your freelance trainers, normally the
they are
communication is quite
good.
okay.
Because
Alright.
I don't have too big group, a small group.
What about clients that you need to convince?
Clients, clients is very hard. Sometimes it's about, I think the challenges I used to have is the mindset, because my background has always been like operations training.
Mhm.
So when I worked with a company, this is a big client, I worked with for 1 year, and the problem of managing them is they don't believe in training, because these companies, they're only thinking about making money now. I want to make money, but they don't talk about building talents for long term. But that's different from McDonald's. McDonald's is a company that's like always thinking about building talents. So it's a very different challenge. So they had like people who are real estate directors who become head of training and development. Right? So they don't understand the system, how it works. They are always thinking about just, okay, I want to get it out, how to do it. I don't want to send people out for training, but I just want to make sure I have results, those kind of challenges is some of the common things that I actually face.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. So now, before we go into the introduction of this topic, how many of you did your homework? I sent you some
reading materials, right?
Yeah, the reading materials. You did? Okay. So very good. I'm going to need volunteer. Otherwise, I'm going to just roll some numbers and pick somebody. Because in this exercise, I'm sorry, I forgot. Before I proceed, Priscilla and Felix, I'm really sorry, I forgot to get you to introduce yourselves. Maybe you want to do a quick introduction about, yeah? Priscilla?
Okay, I'm Priscilla, and I'm now a C-suite coach, as well as I provide coaching for career transition services with Korn Ferry. I'm also a panelist, TTT trainer, as well as an assessor for HRD Corp. Now, where do we find you if not at work? Now, if you don't find me at work, I work from home, or otherwise I would be in the swimming pool or the gym, or walking around to the shop just to exercise. So do you currently face challenges in conversation with your team or your boss? Well, I've come across some partners, because we do collaborate with some people. Sometimes we don't know how else to tell them how important an event is, and that person just tell you the last minute he or she doesn't turn up. So how do we solve that problem? We were just talking about it just now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Priscilla, and I'm gonna just request Priscilla to play my employee. Okay, so we're gonna put 2 seats in front here. I'm gonna have one employee. 1 second, Priscilla, just give me a minute. I'll come and help you with what you're holding. And who's gonna volunteer to be to do the role play? So you can see the role play on the screen, right? You don't mind? Perfect, Pranav. Come forward. And Priscilla, you're okay, or shall I help you with it? Yeah. So, as you can see, this is Tidy Tony. Okay, so this is what we're going to do right now is we're going to actually do a role play. Okay, while I do a role play, can I have Sasi help me write some observations later from this role play? We're gonna watch the role play. We have our own ideas of how we might have done it, right? So after this, we're gonna do a quick debrief after watching the role play, and we're gonna record what we think of the conversation. By the end of today, when we complete learning the interaction guidelines that I'm going to teach you, then we're going to go back to the second scenario that I gave you. We're going to try another one, and we're going to see how differently that was done compared to this, so that we can see whether there has been learning outcome from today. Okay, so Priscilla, please. So today's Charlie Tony scenario. So Tony, so right now you're Tony, right? So Tony is one of your star performers, Priscilla. However, he has been coming to work around 20 to 30 minutes late. Sorry, actually it should be the other way around. She's Tony, she's the employee. You're the people manager, okay? Because of the gender difference. Okay, so you're going to play Tony or Tanya, doesn't matter, right? So, and you are the people manager. Okay, so you now have realized that she is one of your star performers, okay? But she's coming into work 20 or 30 minutes late for the last 5 days, okay? So you have corrected her once, okay? And then this week, and then she apologized and said, it will not happen again. Sounds familiar, right? It will not happen again. Then you notice that she tries to slip in late and pretend that she's on time and catch up with all the work. So when nobody's watching, she slips into work. But because she's such a good performer, she finishes all her work, right? But then you still keep seeing that they're late, and some employees come and tell you, hey, she's always coming in late and she's just slipping in when you don't know, right? So third time this week after the initial correction, you say, okay, that's it. Now I need to have a conversation, all right? So what you're going to attempt to do is to have that conversation with Tanya and take that conversation through to convey the message you want to convey. Okay? I'm just going to step aside so that everyone can watch you. Okay.
So I start now.
Yes, you can start now.
Alright, hi Tanya. So it's come to my attention that you've still been coming late. I believe we've talked about this a bit before. Maybe you could tell me why. Like, do you face any challenges coming to work, or maybe commuting, etc.?
All this while I thought that I can come in anytime I want, because I think nowadays most companies practice flexible hours from home.
Sorry, in this scenario, is she already given permission to work from home, etc.? Or?
No, you continue a conversation based on whatever you think you've told her.
Oh, okay.
She will answer you.
Okay, I understand what you mean by that, but I believe HR would have already briefed you that we don't entirely implement flexible hours here, and more importantly, there are strict hours. If I'm not mistaken, your contract would sit in 9 to about 5, so
Yes.
we do need you to come in on time.
But you see, I'm in the sales and marketing, so the customers are only free after office hours,
I see.
of which I have to make appointment around 7, 8, 9 o'clock, and sometimes I have to entertain them in the car, in the coffee house, and extended until 10 o'clock
Right.
before they sign the contract and the purchase orders.
I see. So basically, the main issue here is that you do have a lot of work that is basically past your office hours, and
Exactly.
that's us indeed. Alright. Alright, let's say we do try and implement flexible hours. We would need you to come into the office maybe say 2 to 3 times a week. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that sounds marvelous.
Alright. Likewise, we do need you to try and be as punctual as you can, because as you know, you also.
But what if the customers would like to meet me up, let's say for the paperwork in the office? Yeah, so it can't be done in our office. So it means right from my workplace, because I want to avoid Jack going to the office and then punch in, punch my card, and then going to the client's place, and then back again. So it saves a lot of time if I were to go directly. With the previous departmental head, he allowed me to do that.
Okay, wait, so let me see if I'm following correctly. So basically, with your job role, you do a also clock out of work like during office hours to meet clients, etc., right?
Exactly.
Okay, I
So
see.
because I'm in the sales and marketing,
Yeah,
so I'm not limited in, within the office hours. Who is going to meet me and how are we going to clinch deals? Customers want to meet me face to face, and besides, the contract says that I've got to meet a certain number of goals, and I've met it for the last 3 to 4 months. It wouldn't have happened if I hadn't met the customers beyond the office hours.
Alright, I understand where you're going with this, but at the same time, I think you have to understand that you're also working with a few other people. So I've received quite a few complaints that you are actually coming in a little bit later, etc. than normal. So assuming we do implement the flexible schedule, I think what you could also do potentially is try and schedule meetings on the days you can work from home, etc. Like say you do have to meet clients and so on. And then maybe if there's any admin or paperwork you need to do, you could do that on the 2 days you do come to the office.
Yes, that's exactly what happened today.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just finished meeting a client and then bringing the document to the office to pass it over to the accounts.
Okay. Alright. But that's basically the point I'm trying to make. If you schedule out meeting your clients on the days you get to work from home, so to speak, it shouldn't really be an issue coming in on time.
You said the appointment was only like part of the morning. So what do? Do I go home? Because customers always change the schedule from time to time.
I understand, but I'm sure you could always tell them that maybe Thursday. Like for example, let's say you work in the office on say Thursday and Friday. You could always just say, hey, Thursday and Friday would not really work for me. Can you move this to maybe next week, Monday and so on? Would that be an option?
If we want to close the deal with customers, we got to follow the plan.
That's fair, I understand.
Not imposing our office hour rule.
Okay, I understand what you mean. But you also work with a team of people, and so far this has never really been an issue with other people as well. And some of them do also meet some of the KPIs that you do. So perhaps
I
there's
still
something to try.
believe that I think it's more flexibility than having a fixed date. Because I cannot promise what time and which day the client can meet me. Because it's going to affect my goal. I also have sales goal. And of which my income is dependent on the commission. I don't have a
I
very
understand.
high basic salary.
Alright. Maybe I can speak to HR about what they can do about your base salary. In the meantime, so you do need a bit more flexibility. What if we do implement a flexible schedule, and then you can choose the days you do come into the office? Well, we would need you to come in on time.
If okay, now I would agree. If let's say whenever they need me, they can reach me on Zoom
Okay.
or Teams. So there's no issue about having to see me face to face in the office. For my teams, for example, because my team members also go out with me sometimes.
Correct.
So which team members would want to see my face in the office?
Uh,
Because my income will also affect their salary.
No, I understand as well.
So let's try to bring this to conclusion.
Oh, okay. I do feel like what I've suggested, having a flexible schedule where you can work from home or work from anywhere for 3 days, but with 2 days you do need to be in the office and you can pick which 2 days. It sounds like a fairly fair deal, and I'm sure you can negotiate your schedule around that. Likewise, what we can do is also implement that department-wide, so people can choose along that, so it wouldn't really be as big an issue. But the main takeaway here is we do need to try and be on time at the very least on the days you do come into the office. Correct. So does that sound fair?
Yes,
Correct.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Pranav, thank you, Priscilla. Thank you, have a round of applause. Thank you very much. How do you think that went? What do you think? Would you have handled the conversation in the same way? So what I would like you to do is to let me know. Let's say first let's observe Pranav, okay? Because the point here is the interaction he is having, right? So Priscilla was the employee,
Yeah.
and employees are employees, okay? Many of them. So tell me, what did you think was done well with what Pranav was trying to do?
think he kept his calm pretty well.
He
and
kept his calm, okay.
Tone of voice is pretty good.
Okay, very good.
He also looked like he also held his ground as a manager and
Okay.
didn't just give in completely to what the employee wanted, and in a way he was trying to find a compromise that would work best for the company.
Okay. So he tried to find, so first of all, it was calm. Okay. Secondly, he didn't totally give in, but he was trying to find solutions. Am I right? Yeah? Okay. Anything else you observed that was done well? Yeah?
Actually, he did ask a lot of questions. Maybe because he was the new manager. So whatever the past is, he has snuck in a way like those
Okay.
schedule,
Alright.
flexible working schedule that
Okay.
the person already have on the mindset.
Okay, so on the
in
side
that
that,
conversation,
yeah.
he managed to grab that information.
Absolutely. So I think he did clarifications, right? So he was trying to clarify. But I think what could have been better was to do maybe a little bit of homework. Like she said, you perhaps did not know what the circumstances were, and it was your fourth time talking to the person, right? So you've already spoken to the person how many times? Three times. Now it's your fourth time. So don't you think you need to plan your interaction? Yes. So whenever we want to talk to employees, we cannot just get there and start talking without planning. Planning and interaction is extremely important. Okay? What else? What else could have been done better? Well, what were the emotions
In this
that you could
case,
see?
right,
Uh-huh.
the HR should also have informed the
And
manager.
should have been informed, okay?
No, HR should have informed because he's now coming in as a new manager, right? So
Right.
they should have informed that maybe have these flexible working hours, whichever,
Yes.
maybe they should have informed as well.
Agree, provided that information has been taken to HR, right? So HR may have done, maybe he did not attend the session that HR said there is flexible working, or HR would have done this session before he joined the company, and then he has joined as a new employee and perhaps does not know. But when you have a situation, you need to go and check what are all the different things that may be relevant to your conversation. Only then will you be able to work around some solutions. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the emotions. So what did you see when you kept giving all these different ideas and solutions? What was what did you observe about personal, as in Tanya's, emotions?
She wants away.
She only wants her way, right? Okay.
Actually, she wants
I've cleaned
away.
so many deals for the company, so I feel empowered.
Yeah. All right. So she feels lack of empowerment at the moment because she feels like, despite being a star performer, you still want to impose your way of doing it. Correct? Okay. And did you feel like you were not getting to an end? Because if I didn't say, okay, bring it to conclusion, I think that conversation could have gone on and on, right? Until that there is no closure to it. Okay? So we also have to always remember, thank you, Sansi, thank you for writing those down. Anything else anybody wants to add before I
I think there's also another thing that's involved here, culture. Because working culture of the companies, because some companies, they follow all this, they give allowance for this working from home kind. But there are some companies still old fashioned.
Right.
So they are still in the old fashion where in the future you won't get employees to want to work that way. So I think the flexibility of working from home and to be able to have a different time, but there's also the need for that person to come into office on a certain day to meet up with the boss or to the colleague. So there should be some arrangement in such a way.
Yeah.
So you meet everything from meeting clients to dealing with your own work time, plus also doing other things that's needed in the office. I think that should be happening.
Okay, thank you so much. I think you can take a seat. Thank you. So basically, are you okay? Yeah. Okay, so I think in all of this, right, the most important thing to know is interactions are not easy. Okay, and that's why we're here today. All right, we're going to learn some techniques today. Okay, as you can see, this session, by the end of this session, you should start feeling like you can take some ownership of your conversations, okay? And the work environment where people are comfortable taking risks, because you must also, it's just how we said, Priscilla was, Tanya, she was feeling like, I just want my way, but he's not giving me what I want, So you are in an environment, and when people feel like that, then other things start getting into your mind. Like, oh, my boss doesn't trust me. I think my boss thinks, I'm not interested, or maybe he thinks I'm doing other things but telling him that I'm working, But I'm giving results, so what's he all about, And these are the emotions that start getting into your mind, and this is why sometimes you have very unhappy employees. But, if you can get 70% of your interactions right, you cannot keep everyone happy.
Yes.
So I think the most important thing is effective coaching. As people managers, we must do effective coaching. Effective coaching is a process, not a random conversation. Okay? You want to coach someone, there are steps, there are things you must be aware of, okay? And you need to believe in a few things first before you actually even want to have a conversation. So as you can see here, when you actually do appropriate coaching, so this session, I've done this session in many other organizations, and one of the biggest things that they see is reduction in employee turnover. Right? Because people are happy. Conversations are better. They feel like they belong. And when they feel this way, then automatically people don't leave the company because they like the environment that they're working in. Okay? Now, some of the learning outcomes today. So by the time you finish this evening, you will, at the end of the session, you will be able to evaluate the difference between personal and practical needs. Okay? And of the coachee. So the coachee in this scenario earlier was Tanya, right? So you will know what is Tanya's personal needs, what's her practical needs, okay? And so every time we learn something, try to remember back the role play that we had, okay? Because by the end of it, we're going to see how we're going to work on it, how could we have done it differently, okay? Then we are going to apply something called 10 basic beliefs. So this one is like a mantra. You got to remember, and it has to always play behind your mind for you to have a successful interaction. You will, when I start rolling out the 10 basic beliefs that you must have, you will realize that, yeah, if I don't have this, then clearly I'm not interacting in the correct manner. And no matter what you do to navigate through that interaction, you are actually going to start struggling because these 10 basic beliefs are not there. Okay? So, quick tip, when I'm talking about the 10 basic beliefs, okay, you have a workbook in front of you, okay? You can flip them and you can write as many notes in a way that you can help yourselves remember what these 10 basic beliefs are, okay? But before we even get there, we have a few other setting the tone. We want to talk about conversations, what we see in conversations. But when we get there, 10 basic beliefs, very important section, okay? You must remember all the 10. I don't want you to parrot it, so you need to write things in your workbook so that you know how to remember it, okay? I have helped by putting pictures that are perhaps easiest to remember. So if you remember the pictures, chances are you'll remember your 10 basic beliefs, okay? But you may have your own style and your own way of remembering certain things, so please make notes as we go along. Next, we are going to inject esteem, empathy, involvement, share, and support. Okay, when you see these 5, these are called key principles. When you see these 5 key principles, now if you reflect back on the conversation we had just now, what was missing? Share was missing.
Share.
Right? Was Tanya able to share?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or did you share what your concerns were if you agreed to what Tanya was going to do?
Yeah,
See? So there are some key principles, okay? Now, Tanya came in and the first thing you told Tanya, You know, we've spoken a few times before, and I've just heard other people are complaining that you are late. Where is the esteem? Right? Where's the esteem? Where's the empathy?
What
Right?
could hurt a person would be straight away put the judgment. You do the judgment.
Yes.
the
So
assessment.
the conversation just now, you will realize that when you started it, it already started with a judgment. A judgment by Tanya on Pranav and Pranav on Tanya. So Pranav's judgment is, Tanya, yeah, okay, superstar, but she's forever late. And I have all these employees coming and complaining to me, my God, how can I deal with them when I just let her do what she wants to do? On the other hand, she's a superstar. She's coming in here and saying, he's only finding fault. I did so well last month. He didn't even say thank you, didn't even congratulate me. Example. Okay? So this is where you will see when you inject some of these into your conversations, you will automatically make that conversation a lot more accommodating. Okay? Last one. We're going to develop a cycle of conversation with open, clarify, develop, agree, and close. Okay? So why we want to do this? Because we want a positive outcome. So did we have a positive outcome from the conversation just now? How many of you think yes?
I think generally yes, it was positive, but maybe there is a small gap which could be closed.
So
with that.
with the outcome just now, you said there was something positive. So what was positive about the outcome?
I think after she shared about challenges in terms of meeting clients, timing and all those things, then he gave some flexibility to her in terms of what are the timing that she should come.
So what was the real objective? What was the practical need here?
The practical need for him was for her to come to work on time, go back on time. But in her actual job scope, she has to meet her clients anytime after her work time.
Okay.
So I think realistically, if I sit as a boss, I would think, I want to have a flexibility of having enough time for the person to rest and come to work. Because she finished with a client at 10 p.m. So
Right.
I think if you normally finish at 6, you still have that 4 hours. Now she's already exceeding her 4 hours every day. Maybe not every day, maybe certain days. But I think the agreement they had was a bit of flexibility on the working hours. But what could have been done was maybe could give her a few days that she wants to work from home to do all the documentation. A few days, she can come in a bit later, but not every day, because there are days you might need to meet them. Also, the days when meetings and interviews, so she has to come. That means she don't meet with clients on the day. So the arrangement could have been made that way. So then all the team has been updated so that they are all in sync. Nobody will complain that she's coming late anymore.
Okay.
So I
Good,
think
good
that-
suggestion. Good suggestion. However, it was not. So for me, just now, that was not a positive outcome. Because what was the real practical need? Is for you to make sure that the rest don't come and complain to you that you're being biased. So you are the bias manager. Oh, now okay, you agree to be flexible with her. Then what happens to us? So-
I did mention try to implement the whole department.
Exactly. So when you want to implement in the whole department, does that work with the company's goals?
That's true.
So if everybody also decides to come when they want and go when they want, and just because they are performing, does that work for the company, right? So that's where the sharing, the vulnerability, sharing your thought, as the manager, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share your thought, because at the end of the day, you've got to find solutions together. And the second thing is, you will find that in the interaction, as part of the develop phase, you can develop those ideas with the employee. You don't. So I think what I've been noticing so far is in all the suggestions that we are making, which happens very commonly with most managers, is that we are ready to give solutions because we've been there, done that. So we think we know, but it may not apply to that employee, right? So if you follow these stages of conversations, then you will realize that, hey, you know what? Yeah, now I missed that out. Oh, now I think I should talk about this. Okay, so this is what we're going to practice. Excited?
Yes.
Yeah? Excited? Okay, by the end of this session, it's a 4-hour session. Okay, of structured and unstructured learning. Unstructured, why? Because it's going to be a lot of this interaction, okay? A lot of interactions. If we're talking about interaction, so we have to interact in this session. And how are we going to measure the success? Two ways. Okay, first, we're going to do a debrief. We did the before, we're going to do an after. Okay, we're going to pick somebody else to do the after. So we're going to start making a comparison to see what could have been done better, and eventually I will guide you through whatever we have learned into the final conversation that we will have and how we should inject all of that in, okay? Next, we have exam. Sorry, I know it's a Saturday, but we have an exam. But I promise you it won't be difficult. If you focus and you interact and you ask questions, this 80% will be very easy. It's an objective paper, just to recap a lot of the things that we learned, just to make sure you understand. Okay? Right, Module 1, Introduction to Real-World Conversations. All of you have actually been through it, but I want you to turn to the page that shows you this same slide, the one that you have on right now. So, start making some notes when you see this video, because I want you to let me know what are some of the things you see in this video. Okay? So let me... That's better. Sorry? Oh, it's still on the slide? Oh, wait a minute. Why is it not showing? Where's my slide? Same slide?
Still same time.
Why is it still showing me the slide? Okay. 1 second. Here we go. Here's the video. Yeah, okay. Ready? Write down whatever you observe.
Ray, there's a problem here. We better talk about this. We've got some problems with the new supplier investigation, and we didn't want to wait till the last minute to let you know about
Listen, we're just trying to figure out why our area is experiencing equipment.
This is Monica. How may I help you?
I've got a problem with the 805 and a deadline in less than 15
And that's the
minutes.
problem. Any ideas for some ideas about how we should handle this?
I wanted to get your ideas on how we can keep the lines
I
right.
will get the policies out fast.
Could you help me out? I'm with a client and I really need some original ideas.
I do have a couple of ideas about how we can speed up our work
This
process.
might be a little off the wall, but how about this?
Do you think maybe...
Want us to let you know if we think of anything?
Maybe we should...
He doesn't want our ideas. Won't we be in trouble if we don't suggest something?
You want to stay out of trouble? Just smile and keep your mouth shut.
I'm open to any ideas you have.
One. Maybe production could, you can't throw that back on production. I wasn't doing anything bad like you.
The whole point of this meeting is to hear the data you collect.
Well,
It'll be a long meeting.
Nothing right? You sound concerned.
of course I'm concerned. I thought you protected. I thought you people would
You
be
don't
there.
have to do that. It's done the way I always do it.
I left out a big section of information that I need to process this.
Is this what you're talking about? You must be
Do
joking.
you think you could have said anything different to keep her from flying off the handle?
Based on what you said, I have an idea of how you might have handled the
I
conversation.
have to rewrite some of your sections to simplify the language. The writing was complicated and technical. I was afraid the customer might be
Good
confused.
job. And that payment section you were concerned about didn't give you any
So,
trouble.
what do you think?
I think we're going to maybe that.
So do I. You have a clear rundown of the basic facts and figures.
Anything else we need to talk about?
But maybe we can figure something out if we put our heads together. You got time to talk about it today?
Let's schedule time to talk about it.
You want to talk about it this way? We do a check's way. We do a time for thinking about it. You're right in the middle. You want to talk?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay. So, how did you find that conversation?
I think initially, like a lot of them were defensive.
Mhm.
It seemed negative, like the tone of voice, the
Right.
verbal communication. Some of it was a bit positive, like it's inclusive, like saying, so what do you think? And then also they were smiling at the person. So at least like you want to listen and come tell me what you think.
Okay.
So those are some of the things I noticed now.
Okay. What about Anurag?
There's a difference between how negative the situation appears when people say keep your mouth shut or don't give ideas, or how people are worried that they're going to get shut down or the company is going to take it in a negative light if you give your idea. Then there's also another part of the review that shows that it's a collaborative working environment where you want to spark ideas.
Yes.
And then if you also look at people that say, tell me what you think, or I'll schedule time for you, it gives a bit more empathy and shows that they actually care. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. We don't know.
Yeah. So whether it's lip service or it's not lip service, we saw a whole load of conversations that could be positive, negative, full of emotions, interruptions, irritation. Some people just, now the recent trend is, we go silent, we just don't talk. We say, okay, whatever happens, it happens. And then when the time comes, I just resign because I don't want to talk about it. Okay? So I think what's important for us to remember that, we need to make a difference, okay, by using and applying skills to develop or maintain positive, participative, productive conversations, which is what we're going to try to do. And the key to successful interactions is another thing that we're going to tick the box on to meet most of the leadership challenges. There will be challenge. There is no way we're going to have interactions with no challenge, okay? But what are some of the things that we saw? Positive, negative emotions, fear of communicating. Some people think that if they actually communicate, then they are going to be reprimanded for it, okay? They do not wish to speak about how they feel, interruptions in conversation. Everything seems like a problem. You heard the word problem. I have a problem, right? So everything seems like a problem, a need to tick the box. You saw a bit of a blame game, tension during meetings, like, we said, oh, let's put it on production. I mean, like, why is it production's problem? So this is what happens on a day-to-day basis, and it creates a lot of hostility, okay? People in today's world do not leave companies, they leave people. Most of the time, people leave an organization because their boss was just a pain, or the boss was not listening to them, or the culture in the company, like Purvati mentioned just now, culture of a company is not really giving them what they believe in, okay? Recently, Gen Y, Gen Z, they tend to have a lot of this sort of emotional attachment. Right? We have a few of you here, so I'm sure you realize that I think the tolerance that the Gen X had with this sort of conversations were much higher. Some of the conversations you saw where they said, if you really want to do well, you just zip it and keep your mouth shut and don't do anything about it, right? That used to be the old ways. The new way is, I either tell you, oh, I found a better job, so thank you very much, or they're very vocal. They come and tell you why they're not happy with the way you're managing them, okay? So, if you think you are leading and nobody is following you, then you're really not a leader, okay? So, it's very, very important that if you want to lead, you really have to be a leader. People must follow you. They must like your way of doing things, okay? And to do this, you have to always remember that you are dealing with different levels in the organization, different types of people, people with different upbringings, and in a variety of situations. So who said people were easy? Absolutely not. Okay? You don't work with vacuum, you work with people. Regardless, that's why they always say, have you been to an organization where, the HR manager normally feels, like Purvati has been a HR manager, and I'm sure she will agree with me when she says that, everybody thinks they know how to do HR because they all deal with people, right? But this is actually a very, very specialized skill on how to deal with people around you. Okay, so it's important for us to learn, okay, about the people that we work with. Okay, we also want to make sure that we take the time to listen and to observe what's happening, their emotions, and what do we learn? Plan your interactions ahead of time. Because when you plan, you perhaps have it more under control. Okay? So today we are going to talk about 10 basic beliefs 5 key principles, and the last one, interaction guidelines. Okay, so 10 basic beliefs is the belief you need to have, the mantras you need to sing to make sure that you are using these 5 key principles in a roadmap, like a pathway of interactions which starts from opening a conversation to ending a conversation. Okay, let's start with 10 basic beliefs. Okay, so this is where you need to make your own notes to remember. Okay, I'm going to ask you to repeat to me what these 10 basic beliefs are. Okay, but like I said, it's not meant to be parroting. You need to believe in it. Okay, so what's the first one? Okay, you can see a picture of a tailor, right? So associates or employees, right? Employees' needs are critical. All right. Why I said associates, because sometimes they could be a business partner, it could be any other, not necessarily an employee, you could be collaborating. So when we say the person you're associating with, associates' needs are critical. Okay, you have to believe this first. So why do I have a picture of a tailor? Because it's one size fits one. Everybody has different needs. Okay, all of us sitting around the table here today, you have different needs that you want to take away from this training. Correct? So, why do I have individual interactions? Why do I check with individual? Because I need to make sure that what you want to take home, you can also take home. Not just give you a generic conversation and say, okay, we are done. We've learned 10 basic beliefs. Yeah? Okay, treat people the way you want to be treated. So you first, if you believe that associates' needs are critical, you will treat them the way you want to be treated. So if you're going to treat your employee like that, imagine how you want your boss to treat you. If you wish your boss would listen to you and ask you and clarify a few things, do the same. Do the same with the employee. Okay, because whatever you want to be treated, if you think you're going to be unhappy, if your boss treats you like that, don't do it to the employee. Okay? Next, you need to trust that these needs are real. Okay? So for instance, just now in the example that we were talking about, so you heard Tanya mention that, yeah, but sometimes it's very difficult if I go home and then I have to come to the office, then I have to do my paperwork, then I go back home again, and then I have to meet a client, and then I have to go to another place to go. You can see, she's already so agitated because these are all her needs, and she's telling you, right? But if you don't believe that these needs are real, then you're never going to believe her. You're going to think that she's making all the excuses that she can so that she can work from home. Okay, so first you need to trust that the needs are real. Once you trust, then you will start seeing them. Okay, so what's the first belief?
Associates'
Needs are critical. Okay? Second, anything can be improved. Do you believe that? Is there anything that cannot be improved? Anything that cannot be improved? There's actually nothing really impossible if you try, isn't it? It would be hard to get to some destination, it would be easy to get to some destination, but there's definitely a way. There's some way to do it, okay? Maybe we don't know, but somebody else might know. So anything can be improved. It is whether you want to put your mind to it, that, okay, this is my not so good employee, but I believe I can do something about it. Okay? Next one. Quality is everyone's job. Do you agree? Do you know what is this picture? This is the world record set by 181 skydivers, largest all-female skydiving formation. Right? You just imagine if one of them did not do what they had to do well. Do you think they will make this formation?
Isn't that person taking out of formation?
Oh, this one just flew off. No, it was like they were opening off, but that was the full formation. They captured the picture when it was dispersing, but yeah. Okay, so you can see if they are not in quality, they will not be part of the main picture, right? So in that sense, quality is everyone's job. Everyone. Either you are part of it or you're not part of it. Okay, what was the first one?
Association needs are critical.
Very good. Associates' needs are critical. The second one.
Anything can be improved.
Anything can be improved, and now we are at quality is everyone's job. Okay, so this would have been impossible, as I said. Now, involve the people who know the job best. How many of you have come across this saying? They hired me to do my job, but eventually they are doing my job at work. You know, you hire people because you've interviewed them. You know you're hiring them because they know this job. They are the specialists in doing what they're doing, right? And eventually what do? They try to tell you what you need to do all the time. So why hire me? Then you do it yourself, right? So involve the people who know the job best. Going back to the conversation. The person who knows what struggles they're going through is the coachee, the person you're trying to coach, right? So you need to involve them in your conversation. If you don't involve them, what's going to happen? You are going to just keep telling them what to do, and they're not necessarily going to agree. So you have to believe that they know something more than you, and that's why you need to involve them in your conversations. Okay? Next, reward your employees for a cost-effective idea implemented successfully. Your employees know what makes your guests tick. Okay? Now, earlier conversation, Tanya was saying, I know what my clients want. That's why I have to run around behind them. So because of that, I cannot come to work on time. I have to go and sign my papers where I'm signing. Correct? But if you don't listen to all of that, you're just going to end up making her come regardless. Because it's not a job that you can just fix and say, oh no, you tell your client, okay, I can still come to your office, but I'll only do that on Wednesday and Thursday. How is that going to satisfy the client, right? So there's got to be other solutions. And maybe if you had prompted Tanya may have had the answer herself to tell you what might be a possible solution that will work for everyone.
So I
Okay?
have a question regarding
Yes.
the previous slide.
Sure.
So you said reward your employees for a cost-effective idea. When you say reward, are you talking about intrinsic reward or monetary reward?
No, rewards don't have to be monetary. Okay, rewards can be very, very intangible. Rewards can be buying them a book,
Okay.
giving them an idea to read something because you know what is their strength and where you want to, how you want to elevate them.
But technically buying them
You
a
know?
book still is a monetary reward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gesture. You could
Yeah.
get a book from the library and give them.
Sure, yeah. What,
Suggest to them where they could go and find these reading materials. It doesn't have to be monetary.
But is it more towards you're trying to specifically get it based on what the employee likes, or is it just some sort of
So you need, so earlier, we were talking about
understanding people?
understanding people, right? How many of you here? Okay, so say you have your best employee in your team,
Okay.
okay? Without lying.
Sure.
Do you know the birthday of this employee?
Yeah, 2nd October.
Year?
2001.
How many people in the family?
How many people? So he has a mom, dad passed away when he was 16. He has a brother with married at 21. 2 kids, just gave birth. The wife just gave birth to the second kid.
Okay.
He has an uncle. His uncle and he has an auntie that recently got breast cancer, so she's not doing too well.
That is a good manager.
Good. He was my
But
best
that's
employee.
important.
He's
But
also
that's
been with me
important.
from high school since.
In a lot of places, you go and ask people, okay, name me your 5 top employees in your department, and you ask them this question. Very rarely somebody can do this. But if you can do this, that's a
but
good step forward.
He's also been, we were high school friends.
Okay,
I've known him for
so
years.
perhaps you've known him for
Yeah.
years. But we talk about random employees, right? So if you have a random employee, very rarely you will remember all of these things about your employee.
What if there's no rewarding people, right? What if mine is a large organization. So maybe if they send an email out to the rest of the team to say, congratulations to this person, they've done this.
Recognition.
Recognition.
Absolutely. So rewarding an employee means making them feel special, making them feel good, and there are many ways of doing it. It could be in a briefing that you might want to just shout and say, hey, this person has done really well, but when you do these kind of things, later you will learn that you need to be very specific as well. Otherwise, it starts sounding like you're doing it for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
So that part of it we have to be extremely careful, but definitely reward does not just mean money.
Just to clarify one more thing, right? When you said that you have to be very specific with it,
Mm.
how do you draw the line when it becomes too frequent? Because you don't want to just keep giving them for small little things where
Yeah.
they'll just start expecting like, oh, okay, if I do this, I'll get a reward. How do
Yeah,
you
so
start
you
drawing that line?
don't need to do it all the time.
Okay.
Okay, but it must be when you also must add value. It must bring some value. It's not about, oh, he remembered to say hello to me yesterday when he was walking past. And this is okay, but if he was able to cut a really good deal for the company, and because of that, the company has moved their employee satisfaction survey milestone to something else. Okay, now this we are talking is made an impact. Okay, so you have to be selective. You have to be very selective, you have to be very balanced with whatever you are trying to do, but you still need to recognize, you still need to reward in whichever way or form. Okay, so those kind of things you will see over a period of time. You yourself will realize, oh, okay, I think I'm doing it a bit frequently now. I'm going to look like a biased manager who's only talking about this employee, because that employee might be just your superstar. And every time you keep talking about this employee, you will already hear noise. Everybody will already say, I don't think, now he's doing it because, that's like his blue-eyed boy. So he always talks about it. All right?
Can I just add on
Sure.
to this?
Mm.
I think coming back to that, right? Like basically, I feel like his question was, if you keep doing that every time you say you've done a good job, so end of the day, or this person, maybe like she said, it's a blue-eyed girl or boy. But what about the other employee? For me, my personal opinion would be, you give the recognition maybe in a meeting or when you are having something going on, say that this person has done a good job. But I believe strongly that whatever you say, the words has to be in line with your actions.
Yes.
So sometimes company don't have benefits, like they don't have like quarterly, half yearly or what. So they're only waiting for the year-end performance review. So when you think this employee is really good, I think you should compensate the employee during the performance review. I think that builds respect of you becoming a boss, because I think, to me, sometimes I have seen bosses, oh, done a good job, but come to performance review, just meet. I've seen some employees being given just meet standard. So how you differentiate? I think that mindset that this person has done a good job and I'm going to really reward for this performance review, it has to be very strong. And you go to some companies, they have all these graph, this percentage, only you can give above expectation. So you have to fight for it sometimes, because I've experienced it once when I had a team of 55 people in my training and development team in Sathasivam. And my department was the one I got the highest percentage of above, because they always have target 55% only can get this amount, you go on high level. But I told my boss, I think since I took over the department, I've seen so many changes. People are doing the job, it's tough, but they're doing it. So I think you have to stand on your ground to make sure you I personally feel that very strongly. Because some bosses, they're not daring to go out there to fight with that management and say that, no, we can't. It's all about money, they don't want to pay out on They try not to pay out.
Purity. That was great, but that's what I meant by being specific. When you actually want to reward someone or recognize someone, you need to know why you are doing that, not just recognize it, oh, well done, oh, fantastic, doesn't mean anything. Okay, you can do that in a group and say, oh guys, great, but even then you need to justify why you're saying it's great, right? Okay, so who remembers, before we go to the next one, who remembers the first one? Very good, okay, next. Anything can be improved, and then?
Quality something.
Quality something.
Quality is
everyone's job, okay? And then? Involve the people who know the job best. And now we are on the fifth one. People want, need, and deserve respect. Any of you don't want respect? No? You want, and you need to be respected, right? So another thing that happens very often in organizations, right? So I used to work for hotels for years. The general manager, when he talks to his manager, he's very careful. When he talks to the steward, he has got another tone. He's got another style. Because he thinks he's somebody and that steward is supposed to be, I don't know, his coolie maybe, but that's not the way, right? Everyone at every level, okay, you have to remember that everybody is a father of someone or a uncle of someone. You know, he might not be sitting in a very high position, but he has got things to manage. So he needs to be respected, okay? So very, very important to treat others the way you would like to be treated, regardless of whatever their level is, okay? So we finished 5. 5 to go. Teamwork works. Now this is one of my favorite pictures. Why? Who knows what this is? Dragon boat. Yeah, how many of you have done dragon boat? I've done dragon boat. So it's actually one of my favorite pictures. So dragon boat, right? You will realize that this is one example that you have to work as a team. When they say go, you all have to go in the same direction, move in the same direction, and you just imagine the last fellow at the back there suddenly moving in the other direction, everything will topple. Okay, so Dragon Boat really talks about teamwork works. Every single person on that boat, including the guy who is actually the so-called drummer who drums to keep the tone, right, is a team. If he also hits the tone wrongly, everybody will start going and the boat will start shaking, okay? But I've personally witnessed how fast a boat can move. I mean, I imagine I've done dragon boat, so I'm no expert, but my boat has won. Why? Because everybody just does it in the same way and they follow, right? So teamwork can bring you a lot of success. So fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Okay, so I'm like a common woman, but winning a dragon boat race is an uncommon result, okay, for me. So if you believe in teamwork, you leverage on everyone who works with you, you will see success. This is another favorite of mine. What is this? There's value in differences. You see different shapes, right? So you see, can you put a square into a circle or a circle into a square if they are the same size? Unless there was a circle like that, right? So that's the difference. So it's very uncommon for you to see a square with a circle in the middle, right? So this is different. And only because this is different, this fits in there, right? Otherwise, shapes, right? If you talk about cylinder, you talk about triangle, if you try to fit them with one another, doesn't work. But so why is the pyramid a triangle and not a square?
Is it some sort of architectural question or is there some...
yeah, so it has its own purpose of...
Has a base on
That's the base, the foundation is big and it had to carry all of that to go to its peak, okay? I'm no engineer, so no, it's not an architectural question, but a pyramid is the way it is because of its own reasons, okay? Why do you see, why is the ball round?
So that you can move faster because there's less friction.
So that you don't hurt somebody when they kick it. Imagine having a square ball to kick. You start hurting yourself because of the corners, right?
Yeah.
So there's value in differences, right? I can't explain this more, so it's easy to remember. Each shape has its purpose. This must be respected in order to have the best outcome of the situation. Okay? Let's go back to what is number 4.
Involve people who knows the job.
Wow, Laura, very good. And anything can be improved was number
3.
2.
2.
2?
Yeah, 2.
And what's number 3 then?
Quality can
Quality is everyone's job. Well done, okay? Number 5?
Respect.
Something with respect. So what was that? People?
Everyone wants us.
One, need and deserve respect. And now we are here at there's value in differences. Okay? Enough? Is there 4 more?
Okay, what? That was number
4
7.
more? No, that's number 7. Sorry, 3 more. Good, keeping count. Okay. supporting others contributes to success. How many of you believe that if you support others, your role will go? How many of you believe that say, okay, now I'm going to support everybody, and one day this fellow is going to be smarter than me, and then that's it, they might fire me. How many of you feel that when you go to work? No, right? Good. Because there are people who feel this way, so they don't support others. They stop supporting people because they believe that if they teach everything they know, then somebody will take their job and then they have no job. Okay, but think about it this way. If you support others, it will contribute to the team's success, okay? And if it contributes to the team's success, you actually can learn more things. Alright? So, I am going to use, do you see a balloon on the table? Very good. We're going to use this balloon to do a quick exercise, okay? There's some marker pens there. You're going to blow the balloons. Okay? Yes, now. You're going to blow the balloons now. Okay? And you are going to write on that balloon the first 8 basically.
All 8?
Or all eight?
All 8.
How?
Right.
So that means all of us write 1, is it?
No, you write what you remember. I'm just trying to ask to remember.
Oh, so
No,
it's
no,
some sort of teamwork exercise.
Right.
What is that? What can you repeat? Right?
Right? The 8 basic beliefs that you've learned so far. I want
Okay,
to see.
wait, can I ask one more question just to clarify?
Sure.
We blow the balloon and tie the balloon or?
Tie the balloon because I'm going to seal it in there. So you remember. Okay? It's an act. It's an act. So by the time you blow it, you write, so you remember. Seal it inside there. Whatever you're blowing into, you think of all the 8. Think of
Then must
all
write
the
it.
8
Must write now.
basic beliefs and now start writing. You can use the smaller pen if you want because
Are we supposed to write it from memory or are we allowed to refer?
of course write your memory, that's the whole idea.
That makes a lot more sense.
If you can refer then
That, yeah, makes exercise. I was trying my luck.
okay, no.
If you can't remember the whole sentence,
Then
You write what you remember. Then support others contributes to success. I have 6 participants in the room. So I hope you're going to remember all 8 quickly.
I remember 2. That's it.
Okay?
Yeah.
You remember 2?
Yeah.
You need help tying this?
How many balloons will be?
yeah, I
It
remember
doesn't have to
too.
be in the
I
order,
remember the first one.
right?
And number 6.
What number 6?
Teamwork works.
Doesn't need to.
I remember
Doesn't
the
need to.
qualities
Doesn't need to be in
everyone
order.
got. Number 3,
It doesn't
right?
be in
Laura?
order.
Number 3?
Yeah.
Saw that.
So then
Number
the
3
remaining.
is
Quality is everyone's.
quality is
Okay, you have 1 minute, huh? Right.
1 minute? I can't even write that fast.
Associates.
Yeah, no, you
Yes,
can't
okay,
even see
good.
what you're writing.
That's a very
Associate
good
is
point.
critical, number 1. Teamwork works, number 3. Then quality is everyone's job.
Job number.
Teamwork works is not number 3.
Number 6, right?
Teamwork role is number 6.
Oh, must write according to order.
No, no, just write.
Then there's one respect. Everyone needs respect.
Okay, associates got 2 S or 1?
Oh my god! Associates
I
too?
just want to join.
Associate
Ah,
too.
that's one. Hey, but it says associates.
Yeah.
Everyone
Oh,
needs.
so I can't do it.
Nah, there's not.
Can get. You need to, I said don't know parroting, remember the sense of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So as long as it makes sense, then can be, is it? Or
Right, what do you remember? So the balloon is so small, we have to write 8.
Supporting other contributions.
Number 2 is, what was number 2?
Everything can be improved.
Thank you.
Support.
Because the last one is very easy.
Last
This, the
one?
first 8 is the hard to remember.
Oh, okay.
So,
What's the second one?
Anything can be improved.
Anything.
so this act is meant to make sure that throughout,
Shasha, you really
after
don't
you
know
read this lesson, you remember this. Yeah?
My
Can?
nieces don't say I got Dr. Sathasivam. Here I got.
Can? Can.
sure.
That's the whole idea, otherwise how will you have interactions?
Teamwork works,
You
yeah.
need to believe.
And you Everyone's
Everyone
Everyone
needs
what?
and one
Everyone
must
needs.
spare.
Yeah.
job.
Job.
Others contribute to success.
Yeah, that's
And
most
then
important.
anything can be.
Okay, how many now? End of 1 minute. How many do you have?
1, 2,
Three?
3, 4,
Yeah.
5,
Three?
6,
I wrote the first three. I
7.
wrote the first three.
Okay, how
I
many do you
got
have?
7.
7, okay.
4, 5, 6,
6, okay. How many do you have?
5.
5,
Hey, she said
okay.
stop, man. 1 minute.
Huh?
Stop, stop.
Hey, stop now.
Laura, how many do you have?
7.
7. Okay, so let me ask Laura to read out the 7.
I got 4 by the way.
Hey, you just had to have one
Okay,
more
wait,
easy,
so
huh?
we'll do a quick one, another 1 minute before we continue. Laura, read your 7.
Associate needs is critical. Everything can be improved. Quality is everyone's job.
So I got 3.
Involve people who knows the job. Teamwork works. There is value in difference. Supporting others contributes to success. The number 5 I write halfway.
Halfway. What is it?
Everyone's needs. Respect everyone's needs and deserve.
Wants and
Equal
desires.
one,
wants
needs,
to-
and deserves
Oh,
respect.
deserves. Okay.
Okay, good. What was missing?
Well, that was the one she was missing. Huh?
Yeah,
You
that's
forgot
one.
that was
That
7
number.
already, is it?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
seven.
Now you just gave me the 8.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Cool. You were listening.
Yeah.
Though you wrote 3. What are the 3 you
No, I
wrote?
see. If I write very slowly, I'm very bad at writing.
Okay.
Associates' needs are critical. I don't think that's right. Anything can be improved. Quality is everyone's job.
Good.
Yeah.
Can I
Not
ask
bad.
something?
Yeah.
Number 1 is associate needs are critical.
Is it critical?
So just now she
Yeah.
said
I think I know.
everything can be improved. No, anything can be
Yeah, I don't
improved.
think I know. Everybody.
Anything
I
can be.
wrote everything.
Ah. So
Is it everything or anything?
anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anything can be.
But
Okay.
it's everything also, right?
Huh?
Anything is everything. What?
That's true.
No.
Anything is everything. Okay.
What thing is
Yeah,
everything?
accepted, accepted.
True.
Okay. Next, let's look at
Trust begins with you.
who's gone to the circus. Do you
What?
watch trapeze in circus?
Have you been to
You
visit?
never? Have you been to a circus?
Yeah.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody is going to. So trust begins with you, right? You're going to jump, somersault, fold the other side, and you're going to get that person to catch your hand, right?
Mm.
Are you going to jump and say, I trust you, catch me, and jump? No. Trust begins with you. You need to trust that that person is going to catch you, right? Trust me, I'm going to jump, but don't know whether that person's going to catch or not, okay? So that's not going to work. So every time, earlier we were talking about when you're evaluating an employee's, conversation and what they're telling you, always trust, because it starts with you, okay? If you don't, then your conversation will already go the lopsided way, okay? And the last one, you are responsible for your own success, okay? So I always say this, when you point at people, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So whenever you try to play the blame game, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, look at yourself.
Another point of that's
Right? So usually you are responsible for your own success. Okay? I can teach you, like today, I can teach you everything. I can tell you 10 basic beliefs. I can tell you, please remember. Think ways of remembering it. But if you choose not to do it, I can't help you with your interaction, right? But if you choose to be responsible and you choose to try to remember, you try to make different things work, and maybe today you remember 5, you go back and find ways to remember another 5 because you know this is important, then you might have successful interactions in the future, or at least progressing towards it. Okay? Clear? 10 basic beliefs. Anything that you feel you shouldn't believe. Anybody here thinks out of the 10 that I told you, nah, Nanthini, without this also I will survive. Anybody? No? I think these 10 are quite critical for interactions, okay?
Even not for, I'm sorry, it
Ah.
may not even be interactions with others, but also your interactions within yourself.
Within yourself. Yeah? So, yes. Subhati?
Number 7, right? There's value in differences. This one, I think, at certain point of time can be a bit challenging because you have a team with different mindset. They come from different background, different culture, the belief systems are different. Sometimes it can be a bit challenging to put them together, but I think there are times that you have to move on with, certain people's attitude who know they will not change, but you try to see how you can work around them instead, because.
But this is a belief. So why is it a belief? It is not how you should navigate through a conversation. You need to believe that everybody sitting around here now has some value. Whether you use it to your advantage or you don't want to use it, or you just listen and you park it because it may be valuable at another time, there is value in differences. That's all it's saying. So it's a belief that you must have, because if you don't, then you will be doing the talking all the time. I don't care what you think, but this is how you need to do this. This is how we are going to work on this. Then anybody else has a better idea, you will never hear it.
So this part, I would say, the value differences, sometimes it can be beneficial to you, sometimes it will be non-beneficial.
Absolutely.
So it has two ways of
but you just need to believe that everyone is different. Okay? So now let's talk about this. Who knows Maslow theory? You do? Oh, very good. Okay. So Maslow theory is a very common theory that people talk when they talk about needs. Okay? Everybody starts with the base, where you just need food, water, air, and sleep. Nowadays, needs cannot stop here. If it stops here, you're finished. Okay? So everybody then starts now wanting money, job security, bodily safety. So you can measure yourself from some of the poorest people who don't really get a lot of things, where this means the world to them. And then there are people who start moving up the ladder, right? And then they reach here, or I've positioned now. I've worked 2 years now, I've worked 40 years. Now I have a role to play. And then in that role to play, once you reach self-actualization, you really don't care what you're called anymore in the organization. You just want to be happy and satisfied with the job that you do, because, like for me, I think I'm at self-actualization. I want to impart knowledge. I don't care what my role is called, right? At one time, I was at self-esteem. Oh, I need this role, director, global director, whatever I want to call myself, but no. So now I've reached a stage where, okay, all these titles, been there, done that, but now I want to impart knowledge. That's the peak of that. But what is this trying to say? Everybody has different needs. So that might be my need, okay? But what is Anurag's need at the moment?
Yeah, esteem, definitely.
Esteem,
Actually,
right? Exactly. So, and what could be, I don't think anybody is sitting here anymore. Okay, what could be, does anybody have the need to, how many singles want to make families now? So you take care of yourself only, and then eventually now, okay, talk about friendship, family, you need some love, right? So everybody at different stage of their life, they have different needs. Okay, the same person could have been through this entire journey. But when you're interacting with people, you always need to remember you do not know where, on which stage that they are in, and that's why you need to know them. When you know them, it's sometimes easier to have conversations with them, because you know what is it that they want to achieve. What is their personal need? Okay, so here, everybody has needs. We're going to talk about two types of needs, okay? First need is personal needs. This is normally the employee. So just now, Tanya and Pranav. So Tanya was having personal need to feel valued, need to feel respected. Did we take care of all of that? No. We said, never mind. You just make sure you come to work on time, okay? Then she wants to be listened to. Whether she comes and says it or not, sometimes employees may not initiate the conversation, but they want to be listened to. And they want to have a chance to voice their ideas and suggestions. Okay? I can see that she was trying to voice the suggestions, but because you were not familiar with what the rules of the organizations were, you may not have been able to accommodate and say, oh, that's not bad an idea. Let's see how we can work it with the rest. Okay? And then we have practical needs, which is your need. You want to accomplish a task, you want to solve a problem, okay? You want to act on a situation, all other employees coming and complaining to you, so you need to act on it. And that's a practical need. get information or ideas and you need to gain commitment, which didn't happen just now. The commitment was not there. Okay? So, personal and practical needs often come hand in hand. That's why it's like a scissors. The picture of the scissors explains to you that if you remove one part of the scissors, you cannot cut the paper anymore. Right? So it goes hand in hand. It's very important to remember that. We're going to watch a video on inner struggle. So what is inner struggle? What's inner struggle? Your what?
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Okay. So how do you solve it? By popping a tablet. Okay, inner struggle taken care of.
Talking to yourself, I think.
Talking to yourself. Okay, good. What else?
Coming up with a proper reasoning and plan to what's happening and why and what should be done. Basically having a plan.
Okay. So let's watch this video. We're going to watch a video on inner struggle. There is this lady, Liz. Okay. She's got an employee who's going to come and talk to her. Okay, there's some questions that we're going to answer on your paper, so watch the video, okay? And then you will realize that she has got an inner struggle and how she chose to deal with it. Okay? Let's see.
Hey, have I ever let you down? Well, I was planning on spending the rest of the afternoon on it. Maybe this evening. No, there's nothing you can do, but thanks for asking. Let me get back to work and I'll have it to you first thing tomorrow. No problem. Right. You too. Bye.
Liz,
Hey, Paul.
we've got to talk.
Oh no, this doesn't look good. What is it?
The information I'm supposed to pull together for the task force meeting tomorrow, I haven't even started on it. You wouldn't believe the week I've had.
The week you had. You want to hear about bad weeks, Paul? Then just sit down.
Project, which is bad enough in itself.
No, don't sit down. Now we'll never get through. Wait a minute. This guy looks really frazzled. And we're not? Then we should know how he feels.
And I'm still not finished. So I haven't had a spare minute to even...
Who cares how he feels? How do we feel about him not being ready for the meeting and wait till the last minute to tell us? Ask him why he didn't tell us sooner. Why didn't you tell me sooner? You had to know earlier than this. You might have been able to work something out.
I didn't know. I mean, it caught me by surprise. I got so far behind, I put it on the back burner, and then I forgot about it.
He forgot? Of course, that's Paul. Completely disorganized. Look at him. Did you ever think of writing things down? I mean, this isn't the first time you've forgotten something like this.
Well, I have a to-do list. When things are this hectic, you forget to look at it.
Great. Now we're going to have to pay for him being disorganized.
You don't know the week I've had. All this has been going on at work. My youngest is having problems in school again.
Not that story again. Get rid of him. We don't have time to listen to this. Wait a minute. This guy may be his own worst enemy, but can't we take a minute to listen? You can see he's under a lot of pressure. Pressure? We'll be working here till 9 tonight. That's pressure. Tell him to stop whining, get back to his desk, and pull that information together. What will that accomplish? Make him feel like a 2-year-old? And sure not the best way to get the information either. We're being way too easy on this guy.
Between problems at home.
Look, he's slowing down now. I think he feels better just having someone listen. Well, I'm not listening anymore. Decide how you want to handle this guy, and let's get on with it. Show him you understand.
Realizing I completely forgot about...
You've had weeks like this too, haven't you?
I have had the week to end all weeks.
Paul, I know exactly where you're coming from. There are weeks when no matter how hard you work, you just can't keep up.
That's my life lately.
And then having to deal with problems at home on top of it all. Well, that could put anyone over the edge.
That's where I am now.
Oh, look, Paul, this meeting is really important. And we have to be prepared. I know you know that. And what were you thinking we could do to get ready? I mean, is there anything we could put together?
Well, I thought maybe you could help me to figure out what we absolutely need so I wouldn't lose any more time.
You want to take a minute and talk about it now?
That'd be great. Yeah. The figures are pretty easy to get, but the status.
Okay. How did you feel about that conversation? Was it easy? Yeah?
I think initially she already had kind of mindset, oh my God,
Yeah.
I really have problem with this guy.
So all are Malaysians here, right? So you can see, one is the shaitan and the other one is the angel, right? So normally when we have conversation, so just now when you were having conversation with Tanya, okay? So be very honest, right? I'm sure you had this going on in your head, like Jesus, I'm telling her, and she's still, going on and on about trying to say this is what she wants to do. Where are we getting from here? Now, what am I going to go and tell those guys? I'm sure all this was running through your mind when you were actually having a conversation with Tanya, right? So this happens on a day-to-day basis. So let's debrief the video activity that we just saw, okay? So what were Paul's personal needs? So Paul is the employee, right? So employees have personal needs. So what was his personal need?
I think in this case, he kind of just needs something to talk to me for the majority.
Somebody to just listen to him. Yeah, okay, good.
You know what's the most important to actually solve for the presentation, whatever, so it doesn't waste more time.
Yeah, okay. He was not ready anymore, his mind was not working. If he tried to do it by himself, maybe he will not have it completed. Okay? So, he wants to be listened to and to understand his problems and concerns pertaining to that presentation. Good. Now, what reasons did Liz have for choosing not to meet Paul's needs, personal needs? So I'm the boss, right? I don't want to listen to Paul. So, what do you think her reasons were?
She had her own work.
She had her own work, okay, which was also backlogging, and he is disorganized. So she thinks that if she leaves it to him, what's going to happen now?
He'll mess it up.
He'll mess it up. Okay, something that we always tend to do. We always try to take over because we really think, if we're going to let him do, already missing the deadline. Now we're never going to finish it, right? So this is why she chose. But what did she choose? Eventually, who got sent off? The devil or the angel? Yeah, the shaitan went away. Why? What reason did she have to choose Paul's needs?
She empathized with the situation. She's had weeks.
Yeah, she's had her own weeks like that, right? So she's empathized. That's the word. Very good. And he needed somebody to listen to him. She realized that because suddenly he was just rattling away, and she realized that somebody needs to listen to him, and they needed to be prepared for the meeting. So what is this? This part, this is actually this one is actually the what need? The practical need, right? So Liz being the employer or the line manager, her practical need was this. She needs to be prepared for the meeting. And the personal need of Paul was, somebody please listen to me because I'm drowning. Okay? So you have to put 2 and 2 together, and what did she decide to do? She listened to herself, saying that you need to help the guy, that you understand what he's going through. And what would have happened if Liz did not make that choice?
You wouldn't have been ready for the meeting.
Exactly. You wouldn't have been ready for the meeting. So can you see when you have inner struggles, right? Can you see why you need to navigate between the personal needs and the practical needs to make sure you make the right choices on how you want to navigate your conversation? If you don't think about the personal needs and the practical needs, you might find yourself doing what the shaitan is telling you to do. Or you know what, let him go and do it. Why do I have to? Maybe let him drown. But indirectly, who will be on the losing end? Yes, because it is her team. Right? So, we are going to go to module 3. Is everyone ready? So before we do that, let's go around the table very quickly. Everybody give me one basic belief.
Quality is everyone's job.
Quality is everyone's job.
Yeah, wait, hold on, I got this. Associate needs are critical.
Associate needs are critical, very good.
Teamwork is important.
Teamwork works,
You're
okay.
responsible for your own success.
You're responsible for your own success.
Good.
Okay, Laura first.
Anything can be improved.
Anything can be improved.
Done. All yours because
So easy.
Okay.
Quality is everyone's job. Sounds good.
Quality is everyone's
Yeah.
job. What else?
It goes back to
What are we missing?
I know the
Something
best
of
person.
wants, they and deserve.
Everyone
Yeah,
wants, needs and deserves
Ah,
respect.
And then
so
don't
people
hire
want, need
somebody
and
for
deserve
the job,
respect.
you do it
One more.
yourself.
Ah, yes, involve people who know the job
Yeah.
Yeah,
best.
that's the one.
And trust.
Right.
Trust
Ah,
yourself.
trust.
Trust begins with you, not trust
You are
yourself.
responsible
It
for
begins with
success.
you. You have to trust others. Okay.
And something supporting, I think.
And supporting others contributes to
To the
success. Very good. We did 10. Okay. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, give yourselves a round of applause before we move into the next. So you remember the what do you call it? The balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have basic beliefs, which is the foundation. Okay, so now we're going to go to one arm. That's going to create the first balance. So in this arm, we are going to learn 5 key principles. Okay, each of these key principles you will apply at different stages of your conversation. Okay, and always we start with ST. Okay.
Can I just get that paper cup somewhere?
Sure,
There
please.
was a paper cup.
It's here.
Ah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So esteem. When you do esteem, okay, you have to do 2 things. One, you maintain self-esteem, and the other one, you enhance self-esteem. So how do we do that? How do we maintain and how do we enhance? Okay. There are all key words to remember. Okay. When you do nothing is an option we don't want to take. Okay. When you do nothing, what ends up happening is nothing. Exactly. You do nothing, nothing happens, right? So conversations can go whichever way. But if you started that conversation just now and you applied esteem first by enhancing self-esteem, what do you need to do? You need to be specific and sincere. So in Tanya's case, you could have started a conversation by saying, "Wow, Tanya, I said thanks for coming in for the meeting, but before we even get to what I wanted to talk about, let me congratulate you on the 3 million we achieved last month." Tanya feels, wow, he knows I achieved 3 million last month, what a feeling, right? So the composure of the conversation already changed. Because when Tanya first walked in through that door to your office, you don't know what's running in Tanya's mind. Maybe she had a bad day at home. Maybe she had a bad day with the client. And then when she's walking in, she might be thinking, I know, 2 terrible days. Now, was he the boss to know what he wants to nag again, because she already had 3 conversations with you, right? Imagine starting the conversation with a very specific and sincere comment. What is specific? This is specific and sincere. The example I showed you, right? Now, then you can talk about maintain self-esteem. Okay? Maintain self-esteem, you need to do 2 things. You need to focus on facts. So when you focus on facts, and then when people tell you, I think this really makes me happy, blah, 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 then you need to be able to have listened carefully and to be able to relate to it and say, this is how you have focused on facts. Okay, this one, you are just maintaining self-esteem, you're not enhancing it. It's not like a booster, okay? You found out something. You're maintaining it because you heard it. She told you in the conversation, what did she tell you? Yeah, but every week, every month, I'm one of the top performers, I'm doing this. Where was the pause? Let me maintain self-esteem. Yes, I'm aware that you have been, 3 months in a row hitting top performer. Focusing on facts. Respecting and supporting the fact that she's supporting the organization. Respect and support. Okay, so this is how you need to apply esteem in your conversations. When you start conversations, always start with esteem. Why? Because it changes the whole tone of the meeting. The whole plan, even if that person came planned, right? We've already diverted the person's mind. So that's the trick, okay? Next. Specific comments, okay? Have more impact than vague comments. Like if you say, yeah, I heard, what was it again? You were top performer, is it? Or was it one of the top performers? Finished. Okay? You're no longer specific and sincere, so you cannot be so vague. When you say things, that's why I was saying just now, you have to do your homework. You go and find out, what was this person doing? What are they doing? How are they doing? Why? Because you want to be specific. When you are specific, that's it. You have sealed the deal. Okay? Then, shows the person that you really understand what that accomplishment is. If you say, what was it again? How do you know what it is? So the person thinks, okay, now he's just trying to, what do they say? Ice my seat. So that, it all looks very, very good. And, or some people use another terminology, say kiss your ass, or now he's just trying to make it all hunky-dory so that he's going to tell me something terrible now. Employees also think, right? So you have to remember that. Now, sincere comments. People quickly spot false praise. Okay, so let's look at this question. Okay, can I get Pranav to read it?
Your idea to write down open issues during our meeting, chapters on schedule, and help us cover everything on our agenda.
Is that specific or sincere?
Specific.
Specific.
Yeah.
You think that sounds sincere?
Not really.
Yeah, it is.
Yes?
Yeah.
Not specific?
It's
Specific?
I feel like it's both.
It is both. So that's a sentence that is specific and sincere. Okay? Let's look at the next sentence. Yeah, you did a great job filling in for Ricardo. You got the work out on time, even with that crunch at the end of the week. Specific and sincere or not?
Sincere, but it's not really specific.
Yeah.
It is both. Why do you say not specific?
Because work out on time just feels like, okay, great job. I mean, you're just giving them praise, saying, okay, you did the job, and then you're basically off.
Okay, so you could have been more specific.
Yeah.
You could have said what is the work that you got out on time. Okay, so but it is still quite specific.
Yeah,
The specific here is saying that why you did somebody's job and you managed to get the work right out on time. Is also being specific about what is it that you need to fill the job. Okay, but as you said, if you want to be even more specific, even better. People will feel even more appreciated. Okay, next, maintaining self-esteem. So we spoke about enhanced self-esteem. Maintaining self-esteem. Now focus on facts, not the person. Whatever they are telling you, listen to the facts. Stop thinking, but this is the third time, or this is the what time. Okay? Be specific about what the person said or did. Like just now I gave you an example. What did Tanya say? I have achieved 3 months in a row, top performer, blah. Focus on facts. Okay? Not with the problem that you're having in front of you. Oh, she's late. So you will never focus on the facts, right? You're focusing on the person now. Next, avoid damaging someone's self-esteem. Yeah, Tanya, you did 3 months in a row, top performer, but you're still late. Somewhere I caught that. Right? That happened during the conversation just now. So now you see why that conversation kept going on and on and on, because Tanya felt like it was getting nowhere. Alright? So that's an example of, even if you don't want to maintain self-esteem, don't damage it. The damaging will be straight away to overlook whatever they said and to get to the point. That will be quite damaging. Respect and support others, make people feel valued and supported, even if you don't agree. So just now we also had a conversation about agreeing to disagree. We have conversations at work where you might not necessarily agree with your manager. Okay? You might have a different way of doing it. So let me ask you a question. Who's answerable? Who's going to get the beating if something goes wrong at the end of the day? You or the manager? The manager, right? So you always should come to terms with the fact that, look, I've given my idea. You're accountable for it. I'll let you have the last call. I disagree with you, but I know we are a team, so let me play team. Let me help you. Once you've made a decision, you let me know what you would like me to do, and I will support. Okay? So that's how you win conversations. You cannot just keep insisting your point of view because you will get nowhere, because sometimes accountability sits with somebody else. Okay? Next, focus on the behavior. Okay, when you want to show respect and support others, you need to really focus on the behavior, the emotions, the body language, and all of that. Otherwise, you will not be reading between the lines to see whether the person is feeling supported or not. Okay? Right. Maintain or enhance self-esteem because people feel good about themselves and their work. They feel they contributed to the team and the organization, right? And even if they've made a mistake, they can focus on fixing it. So if you kill their self-esteem, they're not going to they're not going to work on fixing anything. They're just going to feel even more depressed, even more upset. You're going to walk out of your room and not be solution oriented. So that's why esteem is really important to maintain. Okay? Quick activity. Okay, for this activity, you're going to tell me which is a better way to use self-esteem. So you can read both the sentences and you tell me the top one is 1, the bottom one is 2. Whoever reads it first, you can call out the answer.
I think the first one.
The first one is a better way of using esteem. Everyone agree?
Yep.
Yeah? Yes. Okay, that's good. This new schedule you worked out gives us better coverage. The second one just says it's a big improvement. Okay, but it doesn't tell you specifically. Okay, another one. Which is the better way to use esteem key principle?
I feel number 2.
Number 2.
Because number 1, you're basically saying you're talking bad about your team members, etc. So
Well done, Amina. It's not always the longer sentence, okay? So some people say that, oh, I think it's the longer sentence. Why? Because you're trying to be very specific. But sometimes the longer sentence could just be, blabbing away. Yeah, too much, right? So again, the second sentence is very specific. One more. Submitting production data to the team 3 days past your deadline caused us to miss. First one. If you never follow through your deadline, blah blah blah, sounds like a blame game. So first one. Okay? Clear? Laura, okay?
Yes.
Good. Good, alright?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's summarize. Esteem is not giving insincere and false flattery. Being manipulative, praising people only to get what you want. Okay, so again, as much as I told you, that's the trick. When you start a conversation, always start with esteem. Please find genuine reasons to go and give your esteem comments and not just say something, oh, today, the shoes are looking really hot. Okay, this is not going to win you your conversation. So let's make sure that we are not just being manipulative, alright? Building on one person's ego at the cost of someone else. Oh, you know what, actually, Anurag, I saw your work. It's great that you did this, but hey, Laura, you know what, you did better than Anurag. You had 7, you only had 3. This is terrible.
tried my best.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So you see how that sounded?
Yeah.
So on the pretext of trying to build Laura's self-esteem, I just damaged yours.
It's okay.
Okay?
I'll
So
think about this and take some time.
okay, so that's very important. Ignoring issues and problems to avoid hurting someone is again a no-go. That's the do nothing. Okay, so make sure if there's an issue, you work towards tackling them. You don't sit down there and say, oh my God, let's talk about it 2 weeks from now because I really don't want any problems. I want to go home and have a good, good night's sleep tonight. Okay, so this is esteem. Everyone clear? Any questions so far on esteem?
What if there's genuinely no real sincere, let's say for example, someone's performing really badly, right? And there is no sincere way of giving them an actual compliment. What do you do at that point?
Good question. But those are the very...
it's a rare case.
Yeah,
but what do you do
those
at
are the
that
very
point?
rare case. But in that case, you would normally have conversations where you would ask them how the day is going. Pick up from what they're telling you, and
Okay.
then compliment them or give them, the part where you maintain self-esteem,
Yeah, so you don't
respect
really
and
enhance
support.
it.
So you don't really need to always make people feel like they're on cloud nine, but when you ask them a question, right, and then if you end up giving, telling them, oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through this at the moment, but I'm sure you will get through it, blah blah blah. That's respect and support, and that's also maintaining self-esteem. Okay, great.
One
Now,
question, let's say we exchange the role. I'm not talking about my current job, but my previous one. What is the problem is in the manager that he's damaging the whole team, demoralizing the whole team. Then how do we tell the boss, hello, can you just shut up?
Definitely you cannot go and tell the boss, can you just shut up? But I think again here you might not be able to enhance self-esteem because you are angry with your boss. But you might be able to manage self-esteem by, I'm sure your boss is not a bad person. There may be things that they're doing really well. So you can start with that. You can start with saying, I'm sure you must be facing a lot of pressure from the top, and but I can see that you're really trying very hard to make sure that you and the team are able to achieve it. How is that going? And then when the person opens up and talks, you can say, oh, that must be really tough on you. But I'm here today to just bring up something that you might want to also know, so that we could see how we can support you to do what's needed. So the person doesn't feel so bad, right? But if you go there and say, ayo, boss, everybody complaining about you, gone, right? So there are ways to leverage on things that they're doing well. Everybody has a good and a bad. There cannot be somebody who would survive in an organization and they're just bad, right? That means they should have been weeded out already, and then that's a different conversation. Alright? So definitely if it is yeah, exactly, that's a different conversation. But usually in any other conversation, you need to learn how to, so that's where the basic beliefs comes in, right? You need to learn how to, trust begins with you. You need to trust that the person means well. If you don't, conversation's going to go nowhere. Okay? So let's link esteem to 10 basic beliefs.
Okay.
So esteem now links to which basic belief?
Associates need a principle.
Okay?
Yeah.
What else?
Everyone wants, needs, and deserves respect.
Everyone wants, needs, and deserves respect. Very good.
Trust begins with you.
Trust begins with
You.
you.
You need
In
to have
esteem, think of
maybe
it.
some trust, right?
No, but esteem, right? You're talking about esteem. You're talking about
Ah,
feeling good. You're talking about respecting and supporting others.
So supporting something.
Supporting others, yes, somewhat, but there's a more important one. That is value differences. Correct. Okay, so can you see why you need to believe?
Yeah.
So if you don't believe the 10 basic beliefs, no matter what I teach you today in terms of your key principles, you are not going to apply it. So you need to believe first. Supporting others leads to success is also one of it, but it is not as prominent as these two. Okay, but naturally all the basic beliefs in some way or other you will find that they will belong. But these are the two that clearly identifies esteem. Okay? Right, let's move to the next one. Empathy. And in another 10 minutes we will take a short break. Okay? So let's just finish off empathy. And then we take a short break, and then we come back and we start a very exciting activity. I need all of you to be strong for the third activity. Okay, so empathy. Now, identify correct or incorrect. Okay, first sentence. Empathy is the same as sympathy. No? Why?
Because sympathy is
Is that a yes or a no?
No.
It's incorrect.
Oh, it's very
Yeah, it's incorrect. Okay?
Sympathy is
Because
Oh, okay, yeah. So because sympathy, they're not necessarily feeling sorry for someone, but you don't actually relate to how they feel.
exactly, that's correct. So you can empathize with positive feelings such as pride or happiness, as well as negative feelings such as disappointment and frustration. Can you do that? You can empathize with both, or is it only you empathize when you feel excited, happy? Both? So that's correct? Yes, very good. When you use respond to people's feelings, it's important to let them know you understand their feelings as well as the facts, why they're feeling that way. Correct or not correct? Correct, yeah? So you're being very specific. You cannot just go and tell people, yeah, I understand. Okay, I understand. No, you can't do that. Okay, what do you understand? No, stop telling me you understand. You don't understand. This is where, you've heard some of these fiery conversations with people. Okay? So, now that you know what is listen and respond with empathy. So, you notice when I said empathy, there are two parts to it. One, you need to listen. Then two, you need to respond. Okay? You cannot just listen and don't respond. Or you cannot respond without listening, because then you might forget the facts. Okay? So, check the statement that uses empathy more effectively.
The second one, I think.
First or second?
Second.
Who says second? Hands. One. Laura?
Mine is first.
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
Second? All three second? Puvati says first.
I think the first one, right?
First one is empathy.
Yeah.
That's the second one. Why? Because you can associate with the feeling. Remember we said we can associate with negative and positive feeling. The top one, how are you feeling? I know how you're feeling, but how?
Okay.
Right? So, simple things like that. So sometimes when you go and tell people, I really do understand how you feel. The person look at you and say, how? So, like say somebody's father passes away, you should say, oh, I understand you're going through a very tough passage. It must be hard on you. Right? You will say, I understand you, how you feel. Yeah, right, you understand. Your dad's still alive, so what do you understand? They will say things like this. So, as much as it sounds very sarcastic, but that's exactly what people will tell you when you're not specific. Now, outline the words in each statement that describe how people feel. Okay? And we will underline the words that explain why they're feeling that way. So, facts and feelings. So, let's first talk about the feelings. First sentence.
The pressure part, I can see why you're under so much pressure.
Yes?
Yeah.
Pressure is the feeling.
Yeah.
What's the fact?
Two people away from our team, a pitch in between the deadline. Is it one word or?
Which will be our team. So 2 people away from the team is the fact. Okay? Very good. And the next one, I think I've given you the fact.
Yeah.
Okay? What's the feeling?
Congratulations. The look on the face.
Oh,
is
I guess please.
The feeling is pleased. Right? The feeling of pleased. Okay. So, that's again examples of listening and responding with empathy. So, when you listen and respond with empathy, it helps to diffuse the negative feelings. So, even if the person is sad, even if the person is angry, when you talk about it with facts and you show understanding of that feeling, you tend to diffuse a little bit of that resentment in that conversation. Okay? And use of this key principle is particularly important when a lot of emotions and feelings are displayed. Like sometimes, you would be sitting in a meeting and say, for example, say Vyoman is talking and then suddenly Pranav is interrupting. When Vyoman talks again, Pranav interrupts again. And then say Laura is the one handling the conversation. Laura will say to Vyoman, I know it can be frustrating to be interrupted all the time, but Vyoman, give me 2 minutes, let us finish with Pranav and you will have your time.
Okay, I thought Vyoman is talking and Pranav is interrupting.
Yeah, he was interrupting.
So wouldn't
So-
that be, wouldn't Laura
No,
want
so you
to
need to
Pranav?
handle him to say that it's frustrating that he's being interrupted, right? So she's telling him, so she's handling the conversation, she's telling him, because he's being interrupted, right? So she knows that the emotions are very strong there, he's thinking, and he will probably be already rolling the eyes by now. Like, hey, I'm trying to say something, like, what are you doing? You know? So before you address what Pranav wants to talk about, you will go to Vyoman and say, Vyoman, I know being interrupted through the conversations can be very frustrating, so you address the facts and the feelings, but we will give you 2 minutes after I finish my conversation with Pranav. Go back to Pranav. Okay, Pranav, finish what you say. Once he finishes, address the situation and say, and after that, don't forget, go back to Vyoman and say, Vyoman, now you have your 2 minutes. Tell me what you wanted to say. You see the difference, right? So empathy is like that. You must be able to put facts and feelings together. You need to listen actively, you need to focus on the facts and feelings, and you need to respond to both fact and feeling. I just gave you an example, right? Fact and feeling. You've addressed the feelings, at the same time you've addressed the fact that you're going to listen to the person. Alright? Great. Any questions so far before we talk about negative emotions?
What if you can't empathize? No, not like because you're a psychopath or anything. What I'm actually is, like you're listening to the person and you don't genuinely think that that's a problem. It sounds more like an excuse. I know, like you said, you have to trust that their needs are real and all that. But sometimes when you listen to them, it just seems like this is impossible. Like, how?
No, but again, it goes back to those beliefs.
You have to trust it.
You have to believe.
But
that's what I'm telling you.
It's illogical because it's factually impossible.
No, because you see, that's a preconceived mindset.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're trying to avoid here. We do not care what the original perception or the feeling you've had with that person. Maybe you've had a bad encounter with the person, but always give benefit of doubt. That's the purpose of today's training.
No, what if you catch them in a lie, is what I'm trying to say. Because you know it's factually impossible for that to occur.
You need to prove it before you do.
Okay. Yeah. So just prove the
so
lie.
You still can have a nice conversation
Yeah.
until you get to a point that you factually prove it to them. That
So then do you still do the esteem thing first and then empathize? There's no esteem, right?
There's no esteem. You will maintain self-esteem. So the enhanced self-esteem is when you really want to have a yaya conversation that everything's good. But the maintained self-esteem is, how's your day going? What's happening with you? So you gauge what's the weather with the conversation, and then you bring it to empathy. But the empathy can be dealing with facts and feelings, right? I know you're going to be disappointed listening to what I'm going to say, but I have to say it. Otherwise, as your line manager, I will not be caring for you. It's just how you say it, okay? Yeah, just how you say it.
You just can't call them and do that.
Exactly, right? Okay, so negative emotions. So this is Ray, who's hiding under the table. He's nervous about the presentation he has to give, okay? The next day he's going to go do a presentation, and it shows, and Mary is his boss, okay, and she is going to listen to his concerns that show she understands to both Ray's facts and to the facts and Ray's feelings, okay. So we have 2 videos to watch, and then we will be concluding this one, and we can go for a break. We are almost there. All right, negative emotions. Let's watch. You can take down some notes. There'll be some questions. So that's Mary and that's Ray.
Not much.
What's wrong? Haven't you had your coffee yet?
That would help. No, it's just this open house thing next week.
You nervous about it?
Actually, I've passed nervous and moved on to panic.
You know, that's really common. Most people are really nervous about speaking in public, even if they do it all the time.
But I've got to get up there and present to a whole room full of people. I have no idea what I'm going to say. Look, I've got sweaty palms just thinking about it.
I know it's not easy, especially if you're not used to doing that kind of thing. I'd be nervous too.
Well, I guess I've got to take a deep breath and just do it.
And you will. Is there anything that I can do to help you get through this?
Well, actually, it helps just talking about it. If I just knew what I was going to say.
Okay? So you see, that's a negative emotion conversation, right? Not necessarily one that everybody likes to have, but the conversation took place. And you could see how easy that conversation was because what did the manager do? What did the line manager maybe do?
Empathize.
Right.
She mentioned
So-
that people are always nervous speaking in public, even if
Right.
they always do, that.
Yes. So she shared some vulnerability, right? But she acknowledged the
Fact and feeling.
fact and feeling, okay? So that's good. And this is what she said, right? I'd be nervous too. So the person didn't feel as bad, okay? Next, think about Mary's internal struggle to say the right thing. What are some of the reasons she might have not be responding with empathy?
Is this based on how she did respond? Or
Sorry?
is this based on
No.
how she did respond? Or?
No, this is saying if Mary was doing her own work just now,
Yes.
and this guy came in and he was all struggling,
Yeah.
with his whole presentation,
Or,
and then Mary, what if that inner struggle we spoke about just now,
Yes,
what
what
if
if
she
she
chose
actually-
not to do whatever she did?
I think one of the reasons was basically just be that she probably is already preoccupied, like
Mhm.
doing some.
Mm-hmm.
People give presentations all the time.
So like a question that
Or-
Anurag asked just now. What if I really know that that person is, useless? So this is another example of he may have done presentations before. Maybe she has seen him do presentations before. So she might be really irritated, like, he comes and irritates her and like, what is he on about? He's done presentations before. But if she chose to go down that path, right? Everyone does presentations. He can do it too. What's so difficult? Then she has not really empathized with him.
Yeah.
Correct? So if she doesn't really empathize with him, then what tends to happen is, sorry, wait, I think we can't see the last sentence for you. Sorry. Right, there we go. Oh, yeah. Okay, so with all the pressure that I'm under, giving a presentation would seem like a vacation. So for her, maybe she's very good and she is now assuming, which is something we never do. What is assuming? Making an ass out of you and me. So never do that as a line manager. Okay? Never ever assume. Because if you assume others can do it just like you, then you don't need them in your team, right? They can be you. Correct? Okay, so empathy with positive emotions. One last video. So just now was negative emotions, right? So negative emotions, now positive emotions. See how different this is.
Hey, I heard your recommendation was accepted and you got to go and hit the move forward. I bet you're relieved to clear that hurdle.
Feels good to get a call like that, doesn't it? It lets you know that the customer really appreciates your extra effort.
Well, I know I would be pleased. Mark doesn't hand out compliments too freely, so he must be really happy with the job he did.
Okay? Did you see the difference? So, the negative conversation we needed to deal with what? Facts and feelings, okay? And in the positive conversation,
It's just feelings.
I mean, there's still facts and feelings. Huh?
what happens if positive conversations go unnoticed?
He lowers their self-esteem or he doesn't give them the recognition they want.
Correct, correct. So sometimes people might not feel valued. Why? Because you would think that, oh, he already got a good call, he already got his appreciation, he got his recognition. What does that talk about it? But no, it's important to talk about it. It's important to recognize that positive emotion. Why? Because people might suddenly think, hey, I'm not feeling valued. Yeah, I go back to the same conversation we had earlier today, right? Now, what might stop you from recognizing people's positive emotions?
Too full of yourself, sometimes that.
No time. or
Yeah.
not comfortable.
No time, not comfortable doing it. Some people are very bad at giving compliments. Have you realized that?
No.
Yeah, at work, some people just do not know how to give compliments. Your boss, when you do something wrong, they might come to you and say, "Dude, you can do this better, you know, I think, hey, can you work on it a little bit more?" But when something has gone well, very rarely they will come and say, "Wow, that was brilliant, you know, like what did you do today, you know? It's so amazing." People are just talking and raving about it. Hardly you hear these kind of things. Okay, and that's why the briefing and the recognition that we spoke about earlier today is very, very important as well. Okay, very quickly, was that really empathy? I can understand how exciting it is. To where?
Oh, we have to move it
Connect.
down.
Let's connect the dots. The top, there are some feelings.
To be getting
We're
married.
going to, okay, I don't know whether everybody agrees, but okay, but that's the correct answer, okay? I can see why you'd react that way. It can be embarrassing. To spill a drink on someone else, okay? You should feel proud about. Very good. And from what you said, it sounds like you're upset because I
Forgot to give you the message.
forgot to give you the message, and you have a right to feel disgusted about the poor customer service. Okay, so you can see how now facts and feelings relate to one another.
Yeah.
Any questions before we say correct or incorrect and go and have some tea?
No questions.
No questions. Very clear. What was the first key principle?
Everyone means everybody or association.
Esteem.
Yeah.
That was basic belief. Okay? Alright? So, first key principle is esteem. Okay? What do you do with esteem?
You
Maintain or enhance self-esteem. Okay? And empathy, you
Facts and feelings, focus on that.
listen and respond with empathy. Okay. Is empathy used correctly or incorrectly? First one.
No, man.
No, right? Yes, because
You're not being specific.
you're not being specific. Okay. Seems some of us are nervous about the way this project is going.
Yeah.
Yeah? See the facts and feelings. You sound grateful for Lee's help.
Yeah.
Yes, that's too bad, but I'm sure you'll work it out.
That's the common response everyone gives.
That's common response that everybody gives. Now you can see what is common and what is uncommon. Okay? So far up to here that you have gone through with empathy, empathy is not showing pity or sympathy, agreeing with the person or group. Okay, you don't just empathize because everybody says so. Alright? And just saying I understand. It's not going to work. Okay? So, which basic belief we have come to second key principle?
Everyone, associates' needs are critical. Please, please. That's the only one I remember. Why can't it just be right?
What else?
Supporting something.
This is where empathy will, right?
This is for empathy. So when you want to empathize, what do you need to do?
Qualities everyone's
Huh?
got.
No, it's,
Respect.
yeah, can be, right?
Yeah, can be. No, like I said, but I want the two most important. Okay, okay. Trust. Right? Trust begins with you when you empathize, right? And the second reason you need to empathize is there's value in differences. Why? Because
Well, wasn't that the one for the before as well?
no.
The trust ability.
No, the value
The
difference.
value differences applies
Oh,
to
so okay, so that means it's not 10 divided by 5 times 2.
no.
Okay, so
No,
yeah,
no.
let's see.
They all have a part to play, but what is the most critical belief that supports this is this two. Okay? If no questions, we will take 10 minutes break, have coffee, bathroom, whatever, and then we will come back here. So it is now 4:25, we'll put it at 4:35. Okay? Thank you guys, thank you.